You ever stop and think about the invisible forces that, just keep our world humming along? Well, today we're going to dive into one of them. We're talking about a silent guardian, a force so powerful that its very presence pretty much dictates the flow of the entire global economy.
And it all starts with this simple, really powerful image. You look out at the ocean, and a lot of the time it just looks silent, right? Calm, almost perfectly still.
But that silence, it's deceptive, because behind every single one of those waves, there is power. We're talking about an immense strategic force that is always in motion.
All right, so let's take that big idea, that hidden power, and zoom in, focusing on one of the most critical, most strategic locations on the entire planet, the Persian Gulf.
Now, this is not just any old stretch of water. You've got to think of it like a strategic choke point. It's this narrow artery, and a huge portion of the world's energy flows right through it. I mean, if you control this water, you have an insane amount of influence over the entire global economy.
And sitting right there, smack in the middle of all of it, is a Guardian, a naval force with just incredible strength, operating quietly, but with a constant, watchful eye.
So it's probably time we put a name to this silent guardian, right? We are talking about the United States Fifth Fleet.
So what is the Fifth Fleet exactly? Well, think of it as a massive U.S. naval command. It's based out of Bahrain, and its job is to oversee all American naval operations in this super volatile region. And that's a big area. We're talking the Persian Gulf, the Red Sea, all the way out to parts of the Indian Ocean. They've been the primary maritime force here for decades.
Okay, so we've got a powerful fleet in a really strategic spot. Got it. But why should this matter to you, no matter where you are in the world? Well, the answer comes down to something pretty much all of us rely on every single day.
The scale of this thing is just staggering. I mean, we're talking about roughly a fifth of the entire world's oil supply passing through one narrow channel, the Strait of Hormuz, every single day. That alone makes it the most critical energy choke point on the planet. Hands down.
So that leads to a pretty critical question, doesn't it? What would happen if that flow of oil were to slow down? Or even worse, what if it stopped completely? The ripple effects would be felt almost instantly. And I mean everywhere.
Honestly, the stakes could not be higher. All it would take is one small escalation, a minor conflict, a blocked shipping lane, heck, even just a political threat, and you'd see panic in the energy markets. And all of a sudden, the price you pay at the pump is directly tied to what's happening in these waters half a world away.
So how does the Fifth Fleet actually prevent that kind of chaos? Well, it's not really about reacting to a crisis after it happens. It's about maintaining this constant, silent watch to make sure a crisis never even gets started.
First up, total information awareness. They have these incredibly sophisticated radar and surveillance systems that are constantly scanning the sea, scanning the sky. They're tracking every single vessel. I'm talking everything from massive oil tankers down to tiny fishing boats. The goal? To make sure absolutely nothing goes unnoticed.
And second, readiness. You've got these major assets, like carrier strike groups. That's a huge aircraft carrier with its whole fleet of escort ships, plus guided missile destroyers. And they aren't just passing through. Nope, they are on constant high alert, ready to respond to any kind of threat at a moment's notice. This is a classic example of what's called active deterrence. But all of this, all the hardware, all the readiness, it's about so much more than just security patrols. There's a much, much deeper strategic message being sent out every single second of every single day.
And this really gets to the heart of it all. That calm you see on the surface, it's being maintained by this powerful, invisible current of strategy. Every single move the fleet makes, and even the moves it doesn't make, is a carefully calculated play on a massive global chessboard.
So here's the crucial takeaway. The Fifth Fleet's presence is basically a continuous broadcast. It's sending this silent, totally unambiguous message to everyone, allies and adversaries alike. And the message is about American influence, American capability, and the commitment to keeping these vital sea lanes open. You could call it diplomacy through deterrence.
And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? The most important stories, the ones that truly shape our world, they aren't always the ones screaming from the headlines. Sometimes, the real power is operating in the quiet spaces, out there on a calm sea, under a silent watch. It really makes you wonder, where else are these silent guardians at work right now?